Greetings and welcome to Nine Ether Truth. I'm your host, Trinity Goddess. The title of this video is Yes, Black Woman is God. Here's Why, Part 3. In this third and final part, I will be discussing God shaming, God denying, and the order of things in terms of who is God to whom. So those are the things I will be elaborating on within this video. A few things I wanted to get out of the way. The Yeti, the lower life form that's subscribed to my channel, unsubscribe yourself. You are a parasite and you are unwanted in cyberspace just as you are in the physical world. Another thing I wanted to state is my words are meant to enlighten and is meant to solidify in your mind the nine ether creation story. There's a lot of creation stories out there, and especially in the Bible, the book of Genesis, filled with lies and agendas and brainwashing tools that you may not be aware of. However, my words and my teachings within part 1, part 2, and now part 3 of this series is meant to get rid of all the lies and take away the agenda and strip apart the brainwashing portion of things, and all you're left with is sound facts that make sense, logic, common sense words that bring our creation story, our nine ether creation story, full circle. So that was my intent. That is my intent for creating this series of videos, because the creation story as is pure fuckery. It's foolishness. Babies do not come from ribs, and there's no such thing as Adam and Eve. The Eve gene is within me, within my womb, my mitochondrial DNA. So there's a whole bunch of fairy tales and lies out there when it comes to the nine ether creation story, and it's meant to be confusing. It's meant to sound crazy and far-fetched. A talking snake, really? Some female picking an apple. I mean, this is all foolishness. So I'm here to make sense of nonsense for you. So let's get started. Let's talk about God shaming for a moment. Now, these phrases that I just put out, God shaming and God denying, are probably phrases you've never heard before. I sort of came up with these phrases to describe what I see is going on in the nine ether community. Now, there are lots of nine ether Y chromosome melanated males who, when they hear the phrase Black woman is God, they get their back up. Their ego gets bruised. And all of a sudden they go on this tirade, this campaign to bash the nine ether melanated X chromosome God. They go out of their way to post pictures on social medias of her doing reprobate, degenerate things, and then caption, "Is this your God?" So this is what I mean, what is meant by God shaming. The God shamer is usually 99% of the time a black male. And the reason why he God shames is because, number one, his ego is bruised. Number two, he has an inferiority complex. He feels very small and inferior to God. And he should, because he is inferior to the Creator, to the Almighty. And he goes on an attack campaign to shame God, to make her feel lesser, to tear her down, to bash her, to belittle her, and to decrown her and dethrone her. And the goal is to make God have low self-esteem. It's to strike her at an emotional level, which females are governed by their emotions, and fuckboys out there know this, and they use this as a tool to help further tear down the sister. I have a message for you assholes, you Y chromosome melanated assholes out there that attempt this. High vibration X chromosome melanated are wise to your game, and because we're so high vibration, your little antics have zero effect on us. You only affect those who are not sure of their God status, who are not even aware that they are God. You only affect those who does not have knowledge of themselves, or who's on their way to obtaining knowledge and hasn't gotten to the Black woman is God fact yet. So your antics do not affect the strong-minded. It only affects the weak-minded. And it only makes you look weak-minded like a little crybaby asshole jerk throwing a hissy fit and a temper tantrum. And it makes you look very bad. It further reinforces that black woman is God, because I don't see any black woman out there putting pictures of males in porn, males doing degenerate things and saying, is this your king? So please, that behavior further reinforces that we are superior to you low vibration thinkers, you physical world, low realm, Y chromosome melanated. So please spare me with that fucking stupid behavior, because it's not working. Regardless of what you post or what you say or what you do, black woman is still God. My favorite quote. So let's talk about God deniers. Now, God deniers are similar to God shamers. They're throwing a hissy fit. They're throwing a temper tantrum. Yes. They want to say, oh, come on. No way black woman is God. What are you talking about? And this could be X chromosome melanated or Y chromosome melanated, because there's a lot of female melanated dick panderers out there. Perhaps I'll make a whole show on you, because you are pathetic. First of all, you don't know that you have the God particle within your DNA. It doesn't matter what you dress like, what you say, what you do, how you think, you are still God. But then you have the nerve to dick ride these assholes that are denying God's status, denying the existence of black woman as God. I'm going to deal with you, X chromosome melanated dick riders, in another show. But right now, I want to address the God deniers, which, as I said, could be male or female melanated. This further reinforces that, yes, black woman is God. Because if you truly don't receive something as truth, then it would not be a threat to you. So the fact that black woman is God, that whole phrase, that whole fact makes you feel threatened, further reinforces that it is a fact. And it makes you throw your back up. It jolts you because it makes you have cognitive dissonance, because it goes against everything that you've been brainwashed to think. Remember, the first shall be the last and the last shall be the first. This is a very, very illusionary realm. What's good is bad, what's bad is good. So if someone comes to you with information that sounds far-fetched and way out there, don't just knee-jerk emotionally react. Take time to process the information. Say to yourself, say to that person, you know what, that sounds way out there, but I'm going to do my research into what you just said. Don't go on some emotional rant and react emotionally, because when you're acting emotionally, you're not thinking, you're not processing, you're not absorbing. And reacting from your emotion is a very low vibration way to react, and a very low vibration state. So these God deniers make me laugh, because it's only further reinforcing the fact that, yes, black woman is God. And your little temper tantrum will not change that fact that black woman is God. So that's the God shamers and the God deniers. Now I want to talk about the order of things. Who's God to whom? Now in part 2, you may have missed it because I put this in words, but I didn't really vocalize it. So for those who watch videos and just put it on play and walk away and do their chores around the video, or strictly listen to the words but not necessarily read the words on screen, you may have missed this in part 2. So I felt the need to verbalize, to vocalize the order of things. Who is God to whom? So if you were paying attention in part 1 and part 2, I stated that there was a family fight. There was an argument, a disagreement between X chromosome melanated and Y chromosome melanated. And because X chromosome melanated is God, Y chromosome melanated, because he's so low vibration, became jealous of God and her powers and her superpowers, particularly the power to self-conceive through parthenogenesis. Please research parthenogenesis. So because he became jealous, in his arrogance, he used scientific means through few genes, animal genes, maybe a touch of his own melanin, and created the Tamahu, the Yeti, the Sasquatch, the lower life form. The ones that you know of today as Caucasoids, Mongoloids, and Asiatic Mongoloids. The ones running the world, yeah. The ones wreaking havoc on the earth, on the water, on the air, on our minds, on our bodies. The ones oppressing us, the ones that have all these hidden agendas out there and the isms and schisms. The ones that's making everything low vibration, yeah, those ones. Y chromosome melanated, you created him. And you created that creature against the wishes of the gods. So this is the state of things. This is factual. And everything out there is to confuse the issue so you don't know whom created whom, who's God to whom. However, Trinity Goddess is here to clarify things for you in true Ma'at fashion. So here is the order of things, and these are the words that I did put on the screen in part 2. However, you may have missed it, so I'm going to reiterate. Black woman is God. She is God of the universe, the earth, and she is God to Y chromosome melanated. Why is she God to Y chromosome melanated? Because he sprang from her womb. She is his creator. She is his most high. She comes before him, and she is the superior being to him. She has more things than he has. Breasts to feed a baby, a womb to house a baby, create a baby. He does not. He cannot be God because God is not lacking. She has everything in her biological makeup to self-procreate as she once did. However, she can no longer self-procreate because she has lost her superpower. She's fallen to a very, very low state and has lost the ability to self-procreate. That is why in this low physical realm, she requires the phallus, which holds the semen that she needs to fertilize her egg. Otherwise, please research the Bartholin gland and research parthenogenesis, because within the Black woman's bone marrow sits a substance that is similar to semen. So when I say the X chromosome melanated is complete, she is 360-degree complete. It's just that she is in a fallen state and her superpowers are dormant. They are of very little use, and she can no longer do what she used to do when she was a demigod, when she first got here from the heaven realm. So getting back to the order of things, because the Y chromosome melanated lower half of the God came from God's womb, she is his God. That's basic common sense, basic logic. And she's also, as I stated before, the God of the earth, the God of the Yoni-verse. Now, in the Y chromosome melanated's arrogance, he created the Tamahu. So by the very definition of God, that makes you, Y chromosome melanated, God to the Tamahu. You are his God. You created the Tamahu. And now the Tamahu is attempting to obtain God's status by creating robotoids, clones, and artificial intelligence. They are trying to use artificial means to create something that they can be God of, because they know, the Tamahu knows that they are not God. And this is why they created all these religious books to create a Tamahu Messiah, whether it's Jesus, God, or any male figure Messiah out there that is Caucasian or that has animal fur on its head, and tells you that that's your God. And for the most part, most of our people believed it. As I always state, stop believing and start knowing. Because believing means that you're just accepting third-party account without knowing. There's a difference between believing and knowing. I know Black woman is God. And knowing comes from the information resonating with you 360 degrees. And it appeals to the high vibration, common sense, natural order of things. And you have done your research where it further reinforces whatever you know. That's knowing, that's knowledge. People just read the Bible and just accept it at face value. That is the most foolish, idiotic thing anyone could possibly do. For you need the skill of being able to discern, decode, and decipher. And if you lack that skill, the Bible will turn you into a fool. It will make you into a blind, sleeping sheep. So getting back to the natural order of things, to recap, the X chromosome melanated, she is God, God of all, supreme being. That's it. The Y chromosome melanated came out of her womb. She created him, so she is his God. And he because he created the Tamahu, his god, to the Tamahu. And now the Tamahu is trying to obtain god status through artificial means by creating clones, robotoids, and artificial intelligence. Now the Tamahu's little game is going to backfire because God is going to come here in the physical and our ancestors and restore order and wash the shit away. The great flood is coming. And a lot of things weather-wise already reinforces that the great flood is coming and that Ma'at is setting order to disorder. And the Tamahu knows everything that I am saying. The Tamahu knows everything I say in every video I ever made. The only thing is most of our melanated people are ignorant to these facts. So that is why I am here to enlighten our people, state what is not stated, reveal lies, and tell truths, and enlighten our people as to facts versus fiction, because there's a lot of confusion out there, even within the so-called conscious community. You have this subgroup and that subgroup, and this group believes in that, and that group believes in that. And even within the so-called woke people, there's mass confusion. There is division. So that's why I don't label myself as anything. I fully know we're not black, obviously. I just put that in the title so that we remain on the same page. I don't label myself as a Hotepper, Israelite, RBG, nothing. I don't label myself as any of that, because how do you put melanin into a box? Melanin is the super substance. You should not be labeling yourself or classifying yourself anything, because by doing that, you allow the enemy to know what you know and know what angle you're taking. You're basically showing your strategy to the world. It is wiser to not label, not classify yourself. That way no one knows what angle you are about to take. And that strengthens your strategy. Remember, they keep playing chess while we keep playing checkers. We need to squash that and level the playing field. Raise your vibration, raise your frequency, increase your knowledge, and you'll get there. It is a journey, it is a process, but the first thing is you've got to rid yourself of all that you've known, all that you've been taught, all that you think you know, and start over. And I would highly suggest listen to my videos. Watch my videos from the very beginning to help you on your knowledge obtaining journey. I reveal a lot of truths and a lot of lies, and I clarify a lot of misconceptions out there. And I bring the information to you 360 degrees in a very logical, common sense way. And I do encourage, go and do your own research. However, the information, the content within my videos are spiritual facts. They just are. So not expecting you to take my word for it. Go and do your own research is what I always encourage. So I didn't want this video to go on too long. Thank you so much for listening to this and any of my videos. I do have a Blog Talk radio show. I'll put the link in the description. Please join me tomorrow, October 29th, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Blog Talk, where we will be discussing this topic in further details. Okay, 9 Ether Nation. Until next time, this is Trinity Goddess saying oneness.